Hello and welcome, I'm Yellam aka Soul Reaver, and I'll guide you through this little tutorial on how to beat the glitch boss in Epic Battle Fantasy IV. Now, the glitch boss is a boss that you can encounter in the factory, or the waste disposal plant, which seems rather pretty vulnerable due to his very high maxed elemental resistances, status resistances and debuff resistances. But actually, he is not that hard if you prepare properly for him. Now, some facts: he's only vulnerable to non-elemental damage, so everything you do has to be non-elemental in order to damage him. Also, he spawns with two little bits to his sides. One of them died to a mammoth that randomly spawned because of my armor. They only have 630 HP, which means they can die very quickly. In order to take them out all at once, since they respawn almost every single turn, you want to make sure that you have someone like Natalie who can use Star Shower, which does non-elemental damage to all foes and can easily take care of all the bits. And also deal a little bit of damage to the boss as well. In order to do most damage with your non-elemental attacks, you want to use the correct equipment for this. But only the weapon really is the important part about this, which I'm just gonna show after I have beaten this boss. You want to make... it doesn't really matter who your party members are, but you want to make sure that you have a summon that you can find somewhere. I'm gonna find out where you can find this summon, I'll tell you. The kitten for it, which targets all foes, gives morale status to all allies. Not only does it do good damage, it also gives morale status to all of the allies. And the thing about morale is, if you have morale, you cannot be killed in a single hit if you are over 50% health. Which means you will actually be able to survive an attack from the glitch boss, who usually kills you in a single hit, and all the small bits as well. Which also means that if all small bits survive to the end of the turn, you will lose 3 party members. But if you have the morale, you will actually survive one of these hits. I'm gonna defend right now because I'll kill him if I attack. And this will leave him with 1 HP, but you'll still survive. What you can do now is you can heal your party member up and not die. However, the bits respawn, so you want to make sure to take care of the bits again using some more Star Shower or similar attacks, like Swift Slash from Matt. So basically, you want to make sure that every single turn all the bits die, usually with Star Shower or with Swift Slash, or you want to make sure everyone has morale. If possible, both. And if someone does die, you want to make sure you have tons of coffee ready, so you can just keep them, bring them back up. Also, don't forget, if someone has died, you can move them to backup, and then have someone else come in, even if the person you're switching out is dead. So you pretty much have someone else on backup, in case someone dies. So you just basically try to survive as long as possible while dealing damage. If possible, you want to have limit breaks ready while going into the fight, which can easily take care of the boss, if you are high enough level. After beating the glitch boss, you have access to the last chest of this area, which contains the most powerful summon in the game, the Cosmic Monolith. Not only will this grant you an achievement upon using it, also it's a 450 power damage nuke that does incredible dark damage to all foes for 150 SP. It's important that this is dark damage because parts of the final boss take tons of damage from dark damage, which means that using this ability you can do tons of damage to parts of the final boss. Now, in order to even get to the boss, if you haven't even done that, you need to do what this sign says, which is activate switches 2, 3, 6, 9 and 10. The important part about this is that only these switches have to be activated, and if any other switch is activated, it will close the door. Only these switches are allowed to be activated. In order to accomplish this, you need to be able to go through the back entrance, which means you have to be at the Godcat ruins already. Then activate the switch over there, go for the back entrance, and then you can press all the switches. It does take a little bit of dancing around, but you should be able to get to this point with only these switches activated, and it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Now, equip-wise, you want to make sure that every character has a weapon that deals non-elemental damage. The rest of the equip is not that important. There's only one other piece of equipment that might be something to look at for this boss, which is this, the Angel Pin. The Angel Pin randomly gives the player auto-revive status. It doesn't happen very often, but if it does happen and you would die, it's very awesome to just be able to just keep on going without having to spend a revive. But it's still not very helpful in most cases. The most important part are the weapons. These are the weapons I chose for this, but there are multiple weapons that have non-elemental damage for some people. For example, I also could have used the Departed for this on the bows here. Just look at all the weapons you have and just check the element and make sure it's non-elemental. For example, this one would have also worked. I just chose the other one. And Natalie also has a staff, the Alchemy set, which has non-elemental damage. And it's the only stuff that I know that boosts power of non-elemental skills, which is perfect. And also the chainsaw gun over here. He has multiple weapons with non-elemental. For example, also the Super Snipe or the Ultra Zapper. So basically, you want to make sure that you have non-elemental damage, and then take care of the bits. Make sure you survive and take down the boss with limit breaks and as much non-elemental damage as you can possibly think of. Also, a very awesome move to have is Legend. A max Legend will deal incredible damage to the boss and bring him down very quickly. You can chain multiple Legends if you want to. Also, if you think that limit breaks are the only way to go, you can use some of your chili sauce, which is very, very rare. I didn't find any more than 3 in the entire game. So you probably don't want to use them. You probably want to keep them for the final boss. But if you want to, you can go ahead and use the chili sauce for this and just use 2 cleavers. I'm pretty sure that Matt's cleaver is probably the best way to deal damage to the boss. Another thing I quickly want to note is that the revives, well, that you can learn to multiple people since it's a special move, not only revives a dead ally, but also gives auto-revive status to living allies, which means you can plan ahead and then give someone who you think might die this turn a revive. You'll then receive auto-revive and then revive next turn again. This is also a pretty awesome move to be able to survive the damage of the boss. And one last thing, use your items accordingly. I hope you learned something, I hope you'll be able to beat this boss soon, and I'll see you next time.